Okay. Right, are we ready to Ace Attorney? We're gonna be super cool detectives. Ooh, special content. Sorry, we shouldn't be going to special content. Sorry. This is my first time ever opening the game, so I'm like, ah, yeah, let's go. Yeah, I am in window mode at the moment because I can see my chat as well. Okay, new game, let's go. 3 minutes of just messing around with the controls, let's go.
The Empire of Japan. After opening its doors, a push for cultural transformation brought great waves of Western influence to this far eastern island nation. The revolution washed over the land, making life in the capital exciting and unsettling.
I've never seen an
It was
Ace
a
Attorney
period of
cutscene
great
before.
change, and some was swept away by the tide.
Like, usually they're little, like, flash frames. This is, like, properly animated. I know they made the Ace Attorney anime recently, so... Oh. Isn't this our protagonist, bro?
The turbulence of that era was just the beginning of an extraordinary story.
That is fully our protagonist, god damn it. Matt, yeah, no, for real. Hello! You've not missed much. You've missed a cutscene, which I was surprised because, you know, like, Ace Attorney, like, usually has, like, the flash animations. Like, they, oh, that sounded so nostalgic. I've got to do the original Ace Attorney at some point. Yeah, no, like, they were fully, it was fully animated. Like, I was like, oh, yeah, there was a cutscene. Usually they do, like, the flashes, and, like, it flashes, like, pictures. And this was, like, people were walking around. They were doing their job. It's like, I know they released the Ace Attorney, anime recently, but, like, bro. This comes the hyperfixation. I'm so sorry. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe this is... Oh, and our protagonist did a Miles Edgeworth and, like, shot someone. Like, and I just know what's gonna happen because it's the Miles Edgeworth case all over again, where it's like, did the protagonist do it or did they not? No, of course they didn't. How could it be that just beyond the doors to this quiet little chamber is the highest court in Japan, waiting to decide my fate? Ooh, they're like 3D models as well. Here we go. What? Oh, no, nothing. Save your glares, murderer. Yep, sorry. My bad. Get Phoenix on the game. My name is Ryunosuke Naruto. Butchered that! I'm a second-year student at the Imperial Yume University. 3 days ago, I somehow found myself in the middle of a horrifying incident, and now here I am, awaiting my trial. That's enough. He is That's 3D! Sorry, I'm so excited. Like, I think I mentioned this is like my first time playing this one, and I am such a big fan. He's not obliged to listen to such a police officer. And who are you? The wind. It's so dramatic. I'm this man's lawyer. I'll be defending him today. Lawyer. Bro, you look like a child. Okay, well, he's the lawyer. Yes, and until... Yes, and until the judge has given his verdict on the case, no one has the right to treat him as a criminal. Why have you got a sword? God damn it. Francesca all over again. No one has the right to treat him as a criminal, so you will hold your tongue. Technicalities. Look at you, you haven't even graduated yet. Yeah, for real. And yet, I still seem to know better than you how a court officer should behave. Right, Ryunosuke? Oh, yes, of course. Samurai, no, we don't need more of them. Ace Attorney lawyers are just like, yeah, this isn't, like, appropriate court behavior, but so what, right? Yes, of course, sorry. What are you apologizing to me for? Oh, no, I suppose that wasn't my fault. But really, Kazuma, I never meant to drag you into this, I'm sorry. Ha 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 ha. There you go again. apologizing, just like always. Ah. Though I must say, the Danganronpa sprites do be kind of coming in strong here. You've been all over the newspaper these couple of days. Yume University professor murdered in cold blood by student. But obviously, you didn't actually do it, did you? Of course not. You have to believe me. I didn't do it. I could never murder someone. I believe him. Then there's nothing to worry about. Straighten yourself up. Hold your head high. You mean... Oh! Ooh! That's fun! Okay, how do I get out of that, though? You mean, I believe you... I know you're innocent, Ryunosuke. Kazuma Sogi, my best friend, also in his second year at Yume University. But he's far more clever than I, a star student in fact. He's even a qualified lawyer. Impressive considering he's still an undergraduate. It's not that impressive. The very concept of lawyers is only a few years old, here in Japan anyway. My qualifications don't mean much yet. You said exactly the same thing 3 days ago. But I'm proud to have a friend like you, Kazuma, truly. 3 days ago. Yes, that's when all this started. Congratulations, Kazuma. Looks like you're going to get to study abroad at last. I know, I've been forever dreaming of this day. Finally, these government elites have acknowledged my academic achievements and success in court. So you'll be representing Japan as you immerse yourself in the most sophisticated legal system in the world. I'm really happy for you and proud as your friend. Kazuma's the one who murdered him. Kazuma's the one who's murdered him. And he's trying to get Ryunosuke off so that Ryunosuke can prove, like, oh, look how good a lawyer I am. I proved that my client didn't kill him. It was him. I'm calling it. There's not a soul in the university who doesn't know Kazuma's name. He's a living legend. It's like there's some mysterious aura blowing around his temple. I want to bring about change in our own legal system. That's why I have to cross the ocean to see the real thing with my own eyes. The heart of the British Empire. I wish I could see it too. Then come with me. We'd have a wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's City of London together. Ugh. If only it was that simple. Oh dear, look at the time. I'd better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a while longer. Good idea. Japan has no legal system confirmed. Good idea. After all, it's not every day that you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. I'm telling you, Kazuma is the murderer. Straight up, he's doing a Dahlia on us. It was straight after that, that's when it happened. But how did it happen? Like, imagine you are the, like, prime suspect for, like, killing someone, and you do not give, like, any context of why it wasn't you. It was like, I know I had a gun in my hand, but, like, trust me, bro, I didn't do it. Asagi, may I have a word? Professor, I didn't know you were coming. Well, this case has personal significance to me, but never mind that for me. For now, Asagi, you should go immediately to the judge's chambers. To His Excellency's chambers, why? So trust me, right, for real? He was looking for you before. You advocating for the defense in this trial was a sudden decision. It seems there may be some confusion about procedures today as the result. Who is this man? I feel as though I've seen him at university before. I see, I'll go at once then. I shall accompany you. Alright then, Ryunosuke, I'll see you in the courtroom. Yes, thanks, Kazuma. They're so flowy. It's really nice. Ugh, this is awkward. Oh, he's smiling. If I may. Yes, sorry. You must be the defendant. Ryunosuke Naruharu, I believe. Yes, that's right. My name is Yunjin Mikotaba. I'm a professor of forensic medicine at Yume University. Ah, Professor Mikotoba. I've heard that name from Kazuma before. As I recall, he's been pushing to get the government to agree to Kazuma's study abroad. He killed him! He killed him, straight up. Asugi has told me about you. You and he are best friends, I understand. As such, I feel you should know. Know what? Well, as you've no doubt heard, Asugi has been granted permission to go and study in Great Britain. However, if he should fail to defend you in today's trial, I'm afraid that permission will be revoked and never granted again. Well, what? As I suspected, you were unaware of this. I had a feeling Asuhi may have chosen not to tell you. Verdict, someone killed him, not me, though. He really just was like, no bro, like, I know he's dead and everything, but it wasn't me, I promise. He's agreed to defend me, knowing that if he fails, his dreams will be shattered. It was him. He doesn't want Asahi to succeed, or he really wants him to succeed. But I don't understand, why would the government do such a thing? The administration has chosen from a large number of applicants to oversee study. It's very difficult to persuade them to grant permission, even in the most favourable of circumstances. I don't believe it. But I didn't do it, I swear, I'm not a murderer. Convince us then, convince us. I'm sure that's true, nevertheless. I can assure you that proving your innocence will be no easy task. You see, there are certain peculiarities about today's trial. Sorry, what do you mean? You'll soon understand once proceedings go underway. But then what should I do? Well, naturally I'm not going to suggest doing anything that could lead to a conviction. Right, so as soon as the trial starts, the judge will pose a certain question to the defense. When that happens, you must answer before anyone else. You must say, I do. What, am I getting married? I do. But what will the question be? Surely not, do you accept the accusations brought before you? Of course not. Defendant! Court is about to proceed. Proceed to the courtroom at once. Bro, I don't have any evidence. It would seem our I can't say that. Discussions are to be cut short. So allow me to summarize. Kazuma Asugi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. Of course, as the defendant, the final decision is yours. What are you waiting for? Do you want to be found guilty for failing to appear? Get moving, there's no point in anyone advocating for the likes of you anyway. So rude. This is it. If the trial goes badly, Kazuma's dreams of studying abroad are over. And what's more, I'll be found guilty of murder. I like how it's like, oh, murder is like the secondary, like, oh no, like prison for the rest of my life, that's not a bad thing. But like my best friend not being able to study abroad, tragic. And so, with absolutely no idea of what lay ahead, I embarked on that unforgettable trial. My one and only chance of proving my innocence. The trial that would decide my destiny. Simpay. I mean, did you see how his headband just flourished in the wind? I mean, I can't blame the Simpay. Supreme Court of Courtroom 2. How is it that windy? So, this is the courtroom. The Supreme Court of Jurisdiction. No court in the land has more power. I don't much like the look of those people sitting in the public gallery. Lots of military and other uniforms in there. The powers that be have demanded that this be a secret trial. A secret trial? A trial that's closed to the ordinary members of the public. Only military and government officials may attend. Why? Like, didn't he just kill a teacher? Why is it so secret? What? But why? It'll become clear in time, but for now, you need to concentrate. It's about to begin. Again, he shouldn't have... Is this my boy? Oh, not him. Not Pain. Not Pain. The courtroom will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhito. I know who you are. Don't lie to me. The prosecution is ready, Your Excellency. As is the defense. Before we begin, there is one point of order I would like to confirm. Yesterday evening, the defense made a last-minute request for a change of advocate. That's correct, Your Excellency. Secret child. Don't chant secret child. That's a bad thing. Like, that's so, like, this is... Legally, you should have, like, a group of your peers. No, this is not his peers. He is a student. I made this feels very like feudal Japan, I feel. I made the request myself. Normal procedures is for the defendant's advocacy to be decided 2 days prior to the trial. As this is an unusual circumstance, I am obliged to ask for final compensation now. Who advocates... Oh, I see. Advocates for the defendant in this trial. This is it. This must be the question. Who's gonna defend me? The question, the profession. But why not just say that? Why is everything so secret? But then, if I say I do, I'll need to answer quickly. What should I do? Fine, I'll do it. I'm great. Your Excellency, no confirmation is needed. As I'm standing here beside the defendant, I hope it's clear.
Yes!
Yep. Mm-hmm. What is the meaning of this unruly outburst? I would like to inform the court that I, Ryunosuke Naruhito, will be defending myself. You'll be... What? What are you playing at, Ryunosuke? Professor Mikotoba told me everything just now before the trial. What? He said that your dreams of studying abroad would be dashed if you were to lose. How sad. It means you don't have faith in me. You think I won't be able to get you off. No, it's not that really, it's just that... Well, on the off chance that things don't go well for me, I couldn't bear to be the reason that you... Yes, I knew that's how you'd feel. Which is exactly why I decided not to tell you. Professor Mikotoba should have stuck his nose in. Very well. The court hereby recognizes the defendant's desire to advocate for himself in the court trial today. Well, well. Does the accused admit defeat already? Renouncing his own counsel, really?
Objection!
Make no mistake, counsel. This merely shows the defendant's innocence is so apparent he's confident he can speak for himself. Isn't that so, Naruhito-san? Hmm? Oh, yes, exactly. Exactly what I wasn't thinking. I'm not confident at all. In fact, my mind's complete blank. I realize you're in charge now, but still, try not to look so bewildered. Well, for a mere university student to be brought before the Supreme Court, you must have perpetrated a most heinous crime indeed. As you are no doubt aware, the Supreme Court of Judicature of Japan, accordingly the very highest standards of conduct are expected of all present. Do I make myself clear, Defendant Naruhito? Yes, Your Excellency. It is therefore my duty to assess your competence for the task you have undertaken. My competence? What does that mean? He is questioning your ability to do the job. Well, he can't be questioning it more than I am. So let's start with the very simplest of questions. Oh, yes. Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case. Well, that's easy enough. I've heard his name more times than I'd care to remember. But, wait. Ugh, I'm so nervous, I can't even remember that. What was it again? Ryunosuke. Let me guess. Your mind's gone blank. You know me so well. All the relevant information for this case can be found in the court records. But I can't even find that. It's simple. You can access the court records with the press of RB. If you ever find... Someone just said that to me. If you ever found you've forgotten something, just consult that. It's all there. I just have to press RB for the court record. Alright, there's no time to lose. List of evidence you've collected. Now try switching to people instead with RB. You'll find details about the victim in here. When you're done, just press B to go back. So remember, everything to do with the current case can be found in court record. Hey, but I'm struggling. Just press RB. Could you imagine someone just said that to you? I'd be like, how? No, you better not keep His Excellency waiting any longer. Find the victim in the people section of court record, then press Y to present. Try it now. John H. Wilson, 47, the victim of this case. He was visiting a professor of medicine at Yumei University from the British Empire. Present. Yes. The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson. Ha ha. Well, at least you can remember the name of an esteemed member of your own university. Dr. Wilson was visiting a professor from England invited to Yumei University 3 years ago. Indeed, which is the reason why this case has such profound implications. The British Empire is at present our country's most valuable foreign ally, and as most of you will be aware, we have just signed a new treaty together after lengthy negotiations. There can't be anyone who hasn't heard of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation. And yet, despite these delicate circumstances, the blood of an Englishman has been spilt on our soil. You two are both undergraduates at the Imperial Yumei University, are you not? Murdering a professor from the very institution that provides your education, have you no honor? But I didn't do it. This case is coming under great scrutiny from our allies on the other side of the world. The court therefore wishes for a speedy resolution to this matter. In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting England's policymakers. And you're a convenient and expendable scapegoat to blame for the crime. So that's why this trial has these unusual peculiarities, isn't it? Exactly, our government needs to convict someone as quickly as possible. All because the victim was an Englishman. Yeah, Dr. Wilson was an Englishman. But nationalities and treaties won't make any difference for me here. He's an owl. I figured it out. I was looking at his face. I was like, he looks like a dumb boy. He looks like an owl boy. He's like a Rengoku Bokuto, like he's owl. The fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime. Oh dear, look at the time. I'd better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little longer. Good idea. After all, yeah, we've read this. See you in English, partner. The British Empire. Wow, it's incredible to think. Wait. I've seen that man at university. I'm sure he's a visiting professor from Great Britain. I don't know his name, but still, I should go and say hello. So I went over to the professor's table and introduced myself to Dr. Wilson. Now then, let me pose my next question to you, Defendant Naruhado. Yes, Your Excellency. How did the Professor of Medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson, lose his life? State before the court the cause of death. The cause of death? Well, obviously that was, Inosuke, remember that in court, every accusation must be backed up by evidence. By evidence, but how? RB, bro, RB. Find the piece of evidence that shows the professor's cause of death and select present. Do it now. Proof that I'm a student at Yume University. I always wear it on the collar of my uniform jacket. That's going to be important. They're going to be like, oh, but we found this collar pin. And you're going to be like, but I still have my collar pin. Post-mortem report. Death occurred a little after 2 p.m. and was caused by loss of blood from a gunshot to the chest. The bullet did not pass through the victim's body. Okay.
Yes!
Yes! Well, according to this document, the victim suffered a hemorrhagic death due to gunshot trauma. Learn to read, you imbecile. That's the post-mortem report, I take it. Sorry, yeah, that's right. Post-mortem report. Me, every time I fail to say that one. In the West, a doctor dissects corpses to identify the cause of death in an autopsy. But here in Japan, a police officer merely inspects the body and draws conclusions that way. Oh, I see. As long as I'm not going to be testing on any of this later. This is a so-called photographic print of the scene of the crime. Yeah, I can't say it, man. What do you want me to say, Frank? It comes up and I'm like, oh, this word, I know how to say it, and then I like read it and I'm like, how do I say this? You can clearly discern a scorch marks around the bullet hole produced by powder explosion. In other words, we should assume the victim was shot at close range. Thank you, counsel. The court will accept this modern scientific evidence into the record. The photographic print of the victim has been entered into the court record. So that's a photographic print. Well, it's something I've never seen before. It's clearly superior to a drawing. The details is incredible. So it is a photo. Very well, I am satisfied with your answers. Let us start the trial. What's that movement? I felt like he was going to start like doing the YMCA or something. Certainly, Your Excellency. So, without further ado, in order to better appraise the courts with facts of this case... Why are we... They move around. They do. It's so unusual. Like in the original, you might get like a crack of a whip, but like it's like they really just were showing off that they can move the models. So without further ado, in order to better appraise the court with the facts of these there, the prosecution hereby calls its first witness, who was there at the scene of the crime when it happened. Oh, this is it then. I think I may have worked out what the professor had in mind. Professor? You mean Dr. Mikotoba? Yes. Clearly, you're the defense lawyer today, not me, but that doesn't mean... Well, I can still act as your assistant. Ah, of course! When he was speaking with me before, he simply said, Kazuma Asugi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. He really has been sticking his... award? What's an award? That's new. Maybe, but any help you give me will be greatly appreciated, Kazuma. Well, my first piece of advice is rein in that crazy look of bewilderment and control the cold sweats. Only if you rein in that crazy headband and control the cold stares first. Oh, the waiter, yes. Witness, state your name and occupation for the court, please. Of course. My name is Satoru Hasanaga. I am the head waiter at the Western-styled restaurant called La Carnival. Oh, you good, bro? The white-haired anime boy curse. God damn it. You alright? You seem to be coughing up some, It's a regular occurrence. It doesn't really bother me. Well, it really should. As everyone knows, the cat just casually wipes the blood away. It's like, As everyone knows, the capital's southeastern quarter was developed for foreign visitors some years ago. It became a very fashionable district now, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests. The grim crime occurred in one of the district's so-called restaurants, or the dyslexia, man. Occidental Eatery 3 days ago. Understood. Hosonaga-san, you will kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident. At once, sir. And no petty interjections from the aspiring lawyer boy, please. Not this time. Oh, aspiring, maybe, but aspiring? It was just after 2 p.m. on the day in question. We have a few diners at that time of day. The lunchtime rush was over and there was only 3 tables still occupied. That fits in with my memory of it too. There was hardly anyone else in the place. It was when I was in the kitchen putting away crockery and cutlery. A gunshot rang out, so I hurried to the dining area to see what had happened. I found the victim, an English gentleman, slumped in his chair, and standing immediately beside him, gun in hand, was the accused university student. Yes! Hold on, let me just clarify something here. While I did pick up the gun that I found lying on the floor beside the professor, I didn't shoot.
Objection!
I believe I asked you to refrain from petty interjections. The court wishes to listen to the witness's report of what he saw, you amateur. But the next time you interrupt at an inappropriate time, you will be penalized, Defendant Naruhado. Don't worry, Rinosuke, you'll have your chance to fight back. For now, we must quietly listen to the witness. If I may confirm one point, waiter, standing beside the victim with a gun in his hand was the same man we see here in court today. Yes, without question. I see. And apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing beside the victim? No. There was no one else around the table but the deceased Englishman and the university student. Wait, what did he just say? There was no one else around that table. What's the matter, Rinosuke? That's just not right. When I went over to Dr. Wilson to say hello, there was a woman sitting opposite him at his table. Really? And that's not something the waiter could have missed. I've been warned about interjecting, but still, what should I do? What should we do, boys? Shall we interject? Shall we wait and see? Do we have any... I don't think we have any evidence that there was a... No, I don't think we have any evidence that there's, like, another person there, to be fair. I'm gonna wait, because we don't have any evidence. I desperately want to say something, but I was told not to interject. Rinosuke, if your parent tells you to study, you're the kind of man who would diligently get to work, aren't you? I suppose I am. I'd never gotten into university otherwise. But you can't just always follow the rules in life, you know? if you don't say what you want to say right now, you'll seriously regret it when you're found guilty. Alright, you scared me. I won't forget that piece of advice in a hurry. And there is something I want to say. I'm just gonna shut my eyes and say it. Yes! Just a moment, please. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day. I'm sure of it. There was a lady sitting with him at the same table. Dear me, what are we going to do with you? With your blatant disregard for court proceedings, I'm beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud. Could it be that the accused, the mere student, is not a real lawyer after all? What? Who would have guessed? But I'm sure of what I saw. Hosonaga-san, is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of events is hazy. No. The deceased gentleman came to dine alone. I don't believe it. I actually have a rough plan of the restaurant as it was that day. Please have a look if you'd like. Let me see. Sketch of the establishment's layout drawn by yourself, I presume. That's right. I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone. Well, you're clearly very conscientious, waiter. Thank you, sir. The court will take this plan and add it to the court records as evidence. Well, is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course, here you are. What was that about? He's been completely calm and collected until now. Bro, chill. Oh, yep, that's gonna loop, huh? So, thing has shaken him. The waiter's business card has been entered into the please stop. I'm begging. So, why? Why do we have to do... Why does man have to do the freaking arm movements every time? So the court has now heard the preface of the case. Yes, at the moment the gunshot was heard in the restaurant. He was by a wall. He was on this one. Because he's next to the wall. Am I tripping? I feel like he's next to the wall. Like, that's the wall. Okay. Sorry. Yes, at the moment the gunshot was heard in the restaurant, the only person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on trial today. It would seem we are looking at a black and white case here. Defendant Naruhado. Yes, Your Excellency. If you admit your guilt as a... That's a flaw... Bro, guys, I don't think so, because he's in a chair. Like, so he's in a chair, and looks, because the steak and the wine is all set up on the table. And as you can see... that's a good point, yeah. Fair enough. Come on, let me write, bro. It's so rude. If you admit your guilt at this state, the court is willing to... Wooden floor. Yeah, I got it. If you admit your guilt, look mercifully upon you. In other words, you may have some small reprieve in terms of your inevitable punishment. Leave me alone with your damn emojis. I called this waiter as an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of this court case. But I must warn the defendant, if you are determined to pursue matters further in this trial, the prosecution has decisive evidence from a sworn witness who was present at the scene of the crime. What do you think I should do, Kazuma? What do you mean? Well, I'm gonna be found guilty one way or another, it seems. Wouldn't it be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? Everyone keeps telling me this trial is unusual about these peculiarities, and you've said it, Professor Meektober has said it, and so has the judge and the prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this. As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent. I trust you, and yet, despite knowing that, You're willing to now throw that trust back in my face, is that it? What? If the accused is in fact innocent, then a defense lawyer is duty-bound to prove that innocence by whatever means necessary. And you would just... are you just going to abandon that duty? Are you going to give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even begun yet, Ryunosuke. The defendant pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. We invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witnesses. Then we'll see just how decisive the evidence really is. Indeed, Prosecutor Auchi, please continue with proceedings. Well, you are warned. This young can be so reckless. You know, many call me a saint, but I can be a devil when I want to be. Ugh. In a few short moments from now, the dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced forever. The prosecution calls its next witness. Very well, officer, bring forth the witness at once. Cringe. Okay, yes. Witnesses, kindly state your names and occupations for the court. Yes, sir. The Great Nippon Imperial Army Surgeon Yasunosa reporting for duty, sir. Myself, I find employed as a purveyor of fine articles and antiquity from the effluence of our nation, Nippon, and conduct my trade from Rasute, a humble premise in the 2nd District, Kyoryo Kurikuta, at your service. An antique dealer and a soldier. What an unusual pairing. Both of these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day in question. Can you mark down where you were sitting? They must be the diners at the other table, the waiter mentioned. Myself, I habitually take tea of the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question, always past noon, and not infrequently converse with the interesting parties regarding the churros which I make my business. I can't understand a word that old man is saying, throw me. Ditto. He's an antique dealer, and it sounds like he's a regular at La Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who might have an interest in antiques and tries to sell his wares to them. He obviously targets La Carnival because it's high-class restaurants with rich clientele. Right, I see, although to be honest, that sergeant looks more like he'd be a seller rather than a buyer. Now, you both witnessed the precise moment of this most atrocious incident. Is that correct? Affirmative. The enemy unit was seen attacking the foreigner in what can only be described as a... Give me one moment. My dog has decided that she wishes to bark. Okay, hopefully she's finished. In what can only be described as an act of war, sir. It was that black uniformed rogue infantryman over... Was that a baby noise? This one's as impossible to understand as the other. I can actually understand him. But I'm almost... Yeah, did you hear that? There was like a... And I was like, what was that? I'm sure I heard a strange noise during that last thing. He said, yeah! It was a baby! So this is the decisive evidence the prosecution was threatening. The soldier is claiming that he actually saw the precise moment you shot the victim dead. Yeah. Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable? I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start. Now the court will hear your formal testimony, please. You will state everything you saw at the precise moment that the incident occurred. Sir, yes, sir. There was another baby! What's going on? Standing in line, ready to roll. Unsavory memories of the most acerbic afternoon. I'm half scared to like talk when he's talking in case the baby. What the witness will start? I was investigating a regular beef steak, ingesting a regulation beef steak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a peculiarly fine golden Huron military gentleman. At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. Why is there a baby? I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little V. Objection, objection. No, I didn't. I was on my hands and knees investigating the whereabouts of my mysteriously absconded previous cure. Objection, Your Honour, objection. Well, so you, Sergeant, no, so was actually witnessed the vital moment. You saw a split second when the defendant fired the weapon at the victim. Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. The wicked... Me too, Tara. Me too. Me too. The wicked Tara, that's enough now. Sorry, lads. Dog decided that she wished to have a little bit of a barking freed. Let me set myself up. Oh my goodness, she's driving me insane. Yes, sir, affirmative, sir. The wicked university cadet, sir. The cruel and unforgivable enemy. Ignore her, just ignore her. Someone has come into the house, and so she is obviously very excited. Come here. Sit. Yeah, my housemate's just come home, and she's decided that that's where she wants to be. What times we live in when English gentlemen may be assailed in the broad light of the day. But this is ridiculous. I didn't shoot anyone. Is that really true, Ryunosuke? Yes! All I did was pick up the gun from where I saw it lying on the floor. After I said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and sat drinking some coffee. Then, when I finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant when I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting. I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it, so I bent down and just as I was picking it up, well, if that's the truth, there was obviously a criminal on the scene somewhere. And somewhere in these lines of these two witness testimonies, there's a clue as to who that criminal... Tara! Enough! Come here! Come here! Come here! No! Good girl. There's a clue as to who that criminal was, there is. Ryunosuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witnesses. Cross-examine? Do it now! And as we have heard, Your Excellency, there is no room for doubt in this testimony of these witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty. It is time to bring this despicable student to justice. Certainly, the testimony the court has just heard eliminates any vestige of doubt. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the verdict of this trial. Yes! Yes, it is. What in the name of the Emperor is the meaning of this outburst? The defense demands its right to cross-examination. Dear me, let me guess, the Hachimeki headband boy next door told me to do it. How pathetic. How did he know? The prosecution objects. This is a clear waste of time. The defendant obviously has no experience. How could he possibly carry out a cross-examination? The defense is asserting its right to a cross-examination. Whether or not you think he's capable of it is irrelevant. Kazuma is so commanding. Very well. Let the defense conduct a cross-examination of the witnesses. Alright, this is where the battle really begins, Ryunosuke. But I don't even know what I have to do in a cross-examination. Isn't it obvious? You have to expose the lies in the witness's statement. Ow. You didn't fire the gun, which means what the soldier said has to be a lie. Well, yes, but it's just a case of proving it, and the key to doing that is in the evidence. Right, evidence. And we know what evidence is. This evidence, because you can see the gunshot comes from the front, and he said he was shot in the back. All you need to do is present some decisive and indisputable evidence that proves the witness is lying. Now, let's go, Ryunosuke. Don't let them beat you. Oh, he's so cute. It's all or nothing. Cross-examination. What the witnesses saw. Yeah, that's fine. That's correct. Precise amount of fire. LB. Yes! Tell me more about that. So this black uniforms university, you're saying that was... I've had just about enough of your source, cadet. Who else do you see here? A black uniform. Well, there's someone standing right next to me who fits the description as well. But it was you, you little weasel. You unloaded the firearm on that man from behind his back. Oh my god. Sorry, roommate wanted to show me some boots. From behind his back, and you call yourself assassins the Great Empire of Nippon. You disgust me. Yes, add that to your statement. What is it, Ryunosuke? I'm not quite sure. It's something that the sergeant just said, but I can't put my finger on it. Something's playing on my mind. In that case, check back over the details of the evidence you've gathered in the court record. If you signed an present the evidence to the court, thrust it in the witness's face and make him check. Ayo. So that was Come here, baby.
Yes!
Yeah. Was that right? Is that right? His earlobes are shaking. What are you playing at, cadet? What is the meaning of this subordination? Thrusting some photographic print in my mustache. Inconsistency, sir. I mean, yes! There's a clear inconsistency here. What nonsense. How could this print possibly tell us what we don't already know? Well, obviously that, I know what I want to say, but the words just won't come out of my mouth. I think this proves beyond any doubt, Your Excellency, that there is no place for an amateur student here in the grand courtroom. This is so frustrating. Oh my god. He's coming to our rescue again. Oh, please. Surely this doesn't require an explanation. It couldn't be more plain. To spell it out would be an insult to the court. Customer, what? What are you talking about? It's apparent from a single glance at the photographic print presented by the defense that there's a clear discrepancy here with the sergeant's statement. Or what? Sergeant, yes or no, sir? Yes, sir. What, sir? The statement you just made was this. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. I witnessed the crime with my own military-grade eyes, sir.
Yes!
Yes. But no, that just can't be. Why not, cadet? Because... Take a close look at the print. The victim, Dr. Wilson, died from a bullet wound to the chest. Sergeant, according to your witness statement, the culprit shot the victim from behind. And that is the obvious discrepancy here. Well, how do you explain it? Ayo, okay, yep, that just happened. Well, there was definitely a baby. We just kind of pushed it. What was that? Something just popped up from behind his back and he pushed it down again. Certainly, there is clear discrepancy with the facts here. Would you not agree, Sergeant? No, sir. Yes, sir. At this juncture, that would appear to be indisputable. Until the moment I heard that it's back, he's just chilling. chilling back. Till the moment I heard the firearm discharge, my eyes were firmly fixed on the delicious La Carnival steak, sir. What? The last testimony the court heard has proven one thing beyond... it does explain the baby noises. The last... But why? Why is the baby relevant? The last testimony the court heard has proven one thing beyond all reasonable doubt. The witness, Sergeant Ian Iesanosa, did not see the defendant firing a gun at all. That's absurd. I think the conclusion we must draw is simple. There is no place for an amateur prosecutor here in this grand courtroom. Yeah. Oh, I got an achievement that says serum in it. I love that. There's been a complete turnabout in the mood of this child from just that one discrepancy. Bro, why can't I just play as Kazuha? He's so cool. So this is what being an ace attorney is all about. But I definitely saw him. That university cadet there, he was pointing the firearm directly at the victim's back.
Yes!
But I never fired the gun. All I did was pick it up off the floor. And you, old man, you didn't see the moment the victim was shot either. Myself, I have already been quite clear. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too... I like how he just shoved the baby down. I was far too busy on the floor. Too busy on the floor. Sorry, what were you doing? Hunting for treasure. Treasure. Hey yo, chill. Indeed, the Hohe Erakuban, my prize coin. On each occasion, when I visit the restaurant, it is my habitude to place in my bosom pocket a particular trinket of interest from my shop, Racete, in the hope of meeting a rich diner who might like to buy it from you. On the day under scrutiny, it was to the military man that I preferred my Hoenn treasure. Believed that he would purchase such a rare fire. I did not, but I was presented with a little alternative. And then, after averting my eyes from the briefest of moments, it was there no more. It simply vanished. The Koban vanished. Hunting around under the table, I was in case mayhaps it had fallen there, and then it happened. You heard the gunshot, you mean? Indeed I did, but heeded it not, for I was concerned only with finding my absconded Hohe treasure. Nothing could distract me. Out of interest, did you find the coin in the end? No. I see. That lamentable tray, the most precious Hoenn Koban, was lost to me. No doubt some unscrupulous scandal pocketed the prize coin for himself. As I am sure everyone present is aware, this case demands a swift and decisive resolution. Our government has promised to send a full report to Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon. Nevertheless, the witness testimony the court has just heard was inconclusive, no matter how subservient our government feels it must be to the British. It would be unforgivable to deliver a verdict on this trial right now. What is your position, Prosecutor Ichi? Worry not, Your Excellency. The defendant may have fled a tiger at the front gate, but he will find a wolf at the back. My witnesses have further testimony to make. Explain. Upon hearing the next statements, it will become abundantly clear that there is only one person who could have possibly committed this despicable crime. The equally despicable defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhado. What? Come here. Okay, I have dog on lap now. fine. He really seems to have a despicable opinion of you, doesn't he? Ugh. Very well. The court invites the witness to testify again. You will thoroughly explain the reasoning behind the prosecution's allegation. Is that clear? As clear as Kiriko glass, Your Excellency. Yes, sir. Once, sir. Awaiting signal to testify, sir. Excuse me, but there's something or someone peeking out over your shoulder, I think? Affirmative. The newest member of the Nosa family to rise up through the ranks, sir. Name Ido. It would seem those straps are a sign of the sergeant being too strapped to afford a nanny. Yeah, literally, like... Ido, teen, shun. Your father is about to quell the enemy. I hate kids. I hate kids so much. Watch and learn, my boy. The true culprit. Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing. Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man he was, that young lad in black, that much I myself did see. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present. Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself. Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman over and out. These testimonies are certainly compelling. Yes! Wait, that's nonsense. The victim, Dr. Wilson, wasn't alone at all. Please, enough of these outbursts already. But there was a young woman at the table. You must have seen her. Everyone there must have seen her. If you call yourself a lawyer, then you will respect the rules of the court and speak accordingly. We are not here to listen to your fantasies. It is evident beyond all reasonable doubt that the victim was alone at the time of the incident. The prosecution has photographic evidence of this fact. Is this a photographic print of the scene of the crime council? Why didn't you present this before? Indeed, of the table which the victim was dining at, taken by an investigator immediately after the incident. You can plainly see there is only one plate. Certainly, that's based on the appearance of this print. It would be reasonable to conclude that the victim was this doesn't make any sense. The court will add this new photographic evidence to the record. Photographic print of the crime scene has been entered into court record. What is going on here? It's just not possible that no one else saw that woman. The waiter before said the same thing. He maintains that Dr. Wilson came to the restaurant alone as well, but that's not true. I saw her. I swear that I saw a woman with him. It would seem that we'll be able to telegraph a report to Great Britain on time after all. Witness testimonies that we have just heard leave no further room for doubt. These are very sensitive political times. As we all know, the ink is still fresh on the treaty with Great Britain. To think that I, Asuchi, will have contributed to the amity of these two great empires is an honor. Oh, sorry, Baba. Whoa, yo, why? How can this be happening? The judge is ready to rule. Stand tall, Rinosuke. It's not over yet. Well, if what you say is true, then there's something going on here behind the scenes. And now is your time to expose it. Draw out the truth in your cross-examination. I don't know, Casimir. The defendant is entitled to cross-examine the witnesses, but make it quick, understood? Rules can be so unbending at times. Ugh. I don't even know what to cross-examine. Okay. True culprit. Even if what I saw was it's almost the same thing. You said you weren't interested in that. As far as Ace Attorney rules are concerned, you can like press them as many times and it's fine. I just told them, but I've told you already that's only because I picked stuff off the floor. Obviously, I just finished drinking my coffee and I was about to leave the restaurant when I noticed a gun on the floor. A gunshot rang in my ears, full of events beyond our control, life is. Sorry, what do you mean? In your case, you found a pistol on the floor and picked it up, which precipitated this testing predicament, whereas conversely, I failed to pick up the Coben from the floor and find myself in an equally testing predicament as a result. Anyway, the fact remains, myself, I did see you, with pistol in hand, standing over the foreigner. Furthermore, a visual confirmed that the Indian personnel present.
Yes!
I mean, you guys could have done it. Why aren't you telling the truth? Did you say cadet? I clearly remember. There was a woman sitting across the table from the professor. Perhaps one of you might not have noticed, but for both of you to have failed to see the professor's dining companion is not possible. Unfortunately for you, Defendant Naruhado, it's not just a case of these two witnesses. Sorry. The waiter whose testimony the court heard earlier clearly stated the same thing. He also said the victim was alone. Okay, we need proof. I don't think we have proof. There's nothing I can say for that. Casimir, help! I'm so dumb. What do you think, Minosuke? What's the matter? I can't find anything. I can't find any clear discrepancy. I'm done for. I can't win. No. Listen, the first thing to do is calm down. You can't expect witness statements to be full of holes every time, so just take your time and try and tease more information out of them. What do you mean? You can choose to either press or present against the witness. If a witness is saying something you're suspicious about, press him. With a little luck, you might get details which could prove to be crucial. Right, I see. Okay, we're just going to press every statement. It's fine. If anything slightly jars if you press the witness on it and press them hard. Alright, got it. I'll press. Presser wasn't alone in the witness. I'm one way or another. Yes, go. Press him to death. It's fine.
Yes!
Yes, the guy haven't seen you. The guy haven't seen you? What does that mean? No, it's not the same thing. For a start, I didn't fire the gun. We have a difference of opinion on that. The opinions of an uniformed officer. He isn't paying attention. The guy haven't seen you. Yeah, I pressed him on that already and he was like, nope, still saw you. And like, he had his whole spiel about like, he picked something up and so he's in this. And like, he failed to pick something up. Just a moment ago, I blinked. No way! Did you? Did you see it? Did you see me blink? How could I? And yet, it's an undeniable fact that I did blink. So there you have it. I'll just press them on everything, it's fine. We're gonna get to this. Tomorrow, we'll play the original Ace Attorney. That's the, maybe. Or we'll just continue this. And I have what? Tension! The sound of the firing. In the very next moment, I saw you waving the gun. I think that says it all, don't you? No, it doesn't, girl. Oh my god, grr, bark. Yeah. No, he didn't! Isn't that so incorrect? Oh! He didn't say anything to that. He was like, yes. Yeah, like, because I pressed him on this point before. And he was like, oh, but I thought he didn't say, like, I thought you were too busy. He says, like, oh, I picked it up. Like, we've seen all this before. Prime Eris moment is his forgetting start in the tutorial. God damn it. Technically, it's the first case, so it's fine. Okay. Visual.
Yes!
Yes. I don't like this yes. I want some holders, some objections. You must have noticed someone else was laid on that. As you have been at pains to point out, I'm feeling a growing callus in my ear. And yet, no one else appears to have picked up performance of this woman. If there'd been more people dining there, then someone else would have noticed her. Unfortunately, it was already past 2 PM when it had happened, and the quiet time between lunch and of course, certainly 2 PM is neither here nor there. I wonder if there was a reason why the victim was eating at that time of day and why he was alone. Yes, Your Excellency, there was indeed a reason. There was. This was found at the victim's jacket pocket. What is that, Counsel? It is a medical report card, Your Excellency. It would seem the victim had an appointment at a clinic prior to visiting the restaurant. Potter Clinic. Yes, that would indeed appear to be an entry for the date in question. 19th of November, noon to past 1 PM. The day of the incident. So the victim went for a late lunch following his appointment. The explanation couldn't be more simple. The prosecution felt no need to submit this evidence before, as it really had no bearing on the case. I wonder... What do you think, Rinosuke? Well, it's hard to see how it could be related, really. Remember, you can request for it to be entered into the court record as evidence if you think it could be useful. Yeah, obviously. Give me that medical record. Give it. Please stop raising your hand. Please. Oh, what grounds? Oh. The court has already heard conclusive witness testimony. Additional evidence would be extraneous. Not to mention the victim's movements prior to his arrival at the restaurant.
Objection!
No concern. Thanks, Casimir, I love you! Whether or not they're of concern is up to us to decide. We have a right to explore all possible avenues. I beg your pardon? You have no authority to refuse a perfectly valid request for the submission of evidence. Very well, the court will grant the defence's request. Youngsters these days are forever asserting their rights. It's the most disturbing Okay, boomer? Officer, kindly add the victim's medical report card to the court record. What we need right now is new clues. We have to explore things from every possible angle, even if they don't seem relevant at first. Right, I hear you. You can conspire to prolong this trial as much as you'd like, but it's the day after the festival already for you. Or perhaps you'd forgotten that these witness testimonies leave no room for doubt. Feel free to reiterate the accused counsel, sir. Indeed, he was by himself.
Yes!
press. We're just going to do some pressing. So you actually saw that with your own eyes, did you? The victim, Dr. Wilson, dining alone. That I did. Forgive me for the position I placed you in. So the testimonies of the old man, the soldier, and the waiter all agree on that point. Isn't that interesting? And let us not forget the incontestable evidence we have to support their statements as well. As can clearly be seen, there is only one single beefsteak on the victim's table, a meal for one. Bros, I'm so stuck right now. No. The antique dealer, the sergeant, and the waiter who testified. It's not impossible that they're all lying. But if so, why? If I'm perfectly honest, I have no idea. Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched.
Yes!
Richmond, I've pressed you on this before as well. Why aren't you telling the truth? Guys, I'm so stuck. What do I do? Okay. I need proof. Oh god. Okay, wait, let me look at this. Check the medical. Yeah, it just says a medical report card from Hutter Clinic. So kitchen, entrance. He is sitting here, but he didn't want us to see this, which is I'm still like. So maybe like the sergeant was here. I must have been here because like it shot him in the back, and then like if the woman was there, she could just easily run. Guys, I don't know. I really don't know. I need a hint. A little after 2 p.m. I don't know. It's blatant. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. We've gleaned some new information now. Have we? Well, yes, but I don't really feel like it changes much. I can't see that it brings any real discrepancies to light. I wouldn't be so sure. Let me see the medical report card you've got before. Oh, you mean this? Yes, this is a brand new piece of evidence. So perhaps we should examine it a little more detail. How exactly? You'll notice that some pieces of evidence bear a magnifying glass. These ones you may examine. I just was on that, I didn't see that. I'm so dumb. Thanks, Beetle, you're so smart. Press A and you can take a closer look at evidence in question. Use up, left, down, right. Cool. I'm going to do that now to rotate the evidence in all directions by using up, left, down, right. Yep. Please let me do it now, please. I'm begging. You can move your crosshairs around the hunt for clues that may have been missed before. Okay. If the crosshairs start to pulsate, press A to investigate even further. So, partner, I think you should take a closer look at this medical report card. See if there's something new to be learnt by examining it in more details. So where we learn he's like had hemorrhoids and shit. It's like, oh man, I didn't want to know that. Alright, I'll see what I can do. I need to use right, up, down, left, right, left, up, left, down, right, and A. Oh, there's a fold. Why is there a fold? That's interesting. Okay, yep, sure. let's have a look. This is some kind of this is the Ace Attorney style I'm used to. Ah, and there's an entry for the day the professor was killed. Extraction of the molar with topical anesthesia. Extraction of molar? You mean he had a tooth taken out? It would seem so. Just before the incident, he had a bad tooth taken out. Perhaps they used laughing gas. That's the most modern practice in the West for pain relief. Yes, I've heard of this anesthesia. Although it's hard to believe there's anything that can actually stop you feeling pain. Ah, there's a cautionary note from the medical practitioner. Strictly no food or drinks beside water for 3 hours post-procedure until anesthetic effects have passed. Yeah, boy! Really? Sounds like this information might be worth bearing in mind. Medical reports card's information has been updated in the court record. We know things! With this new information, the meaning of that one particular statement today changes. So I think it's time we listen to the testimony again, don't you? Definitely. Okay, let's go. Even if what? Yes, pointing out. Furthermore. Present some evidence, cause we don't think he was. Sorry, yes! I'm so hyped right now. Yes! It's so awkward. Well, I think, about what are you wittering, lad? Call yourself a lawyer. I wish I could. But first and foremost here, I'm the accused. You're a nice guy. Everyone stumbles on their words, and occasionally, under the circumstances, I wouldn't worry about it. Thanks, customer. I could see it quite clearly in that cross-examination you just carried out. When you raised your hand straight like that so purposefully, you knew exactly what it was you wanted to say. Don't feel you have to choose your words carefully. Just say what you're thinking. Alright. You're full of shit! Oh, sorry. Alright, thanks for the advice. Korokuta-san, this is a medical report card belonging to the victim. Ah, I see, and I don't see. What of it, boy? Comparing what is written on this report card with your witness statement, something clearly doesn't add up. Dear me, have you forgotten my words so soon, you amateur? Sorry, what? You are not to interrupt court proceedings with your amateurish drivel. But let's see if I can explain in words you might understand. It was after 2 p.m. in the afternoon when the victim was murdered at the restaurant. Whatever he may or may not have done before that time is completely irrelevant. But that's... Remember, Ryunosuke, you don't have to use clever language or fancy words. Just make your point. Your Excellency, I believe we're finished here. There is surely no need to prolong this trial any further. The witness testimonies of the courts have been heard by clear and concise. The medical report card has no bearing on the matter at all for the simple reason that there is no one else besides this pale-faced pupil who could possibly have prevented it. I didn't do that. This medical report card has nothing to do with the case. Do you really believe that? What? This outburst half petrified me, boy. Of course I believe it. How could it possibly be relevant? Perhaps because Hotta Clinic, which issued the report card, is a dental clinic. Dental clinic? Is that supposed to mean something? Perhaps if I told you that the victim had just had a tooth extracted? What's this now? And furthermore, if I had told you that as a result the victim has been forbidden from eating, just what are you trying to say, Cadet? He had orders not to eat, so what? It's all written up here. No food or drink other than water for 3 hours post-procedure while anesthetic wears off. What? No, that can't. Korokuta-san. What, boy, what? As you just heard, when he was killed sometime shortly after 2 p.m., the victim couldn't have been eating anything at all. No. Additionally, there's more. There's more? You have assured the court that with unwavering self-confidence that the victim was dining alone. But that cannot possibly be the case. Because the victim, as we now know, had just had one of his teeth extracted and was still experiencing the effects of the anesthetic. Excellently done, partner. We love Kazuma. Kazuma, best boy. What is this nonsense? You little upstart. These are baseless accusations. Just look at the photographic evidence. You can clearly see the plate of food at the victim's table. Use your head. That's the very discrepancy we're talking about. Or can't you follow the logic? How dare you? I think it's fair to say that the table in this restaurant case has turned... Oh, I love the tables of tables. Wouldn't you agree, Ryunosuke? Yes, most definitely. So having just undergone some dental surgery, the victim was unable to eat. Which leaves one very crucial conundrum. Who in fact was eating the pitch of beef steak? I wish that was me, I'm so hungry. The court will hear the opinion of the defense on this new puzzle. I assume you're ready, counsel. Oh, that means meat, doesn't it? Alright, the answer to this question is going to be pivotal. This is the start of your turning this trial around. Show them what you're made of. Got it. So, the person eating the steak at the victim's table must have been an as yet unknown third party. Obviously, it could only have been someone else who was sitting at the professor's table. You will not let this go, will you? There was no such person. Yes, there was, because I saw her. When the incident occurred, we know that the victim couldn't have been eating anything, yet we have evidence of a half-eaten steak on his table. Therefore, the only logical conclusion is that there was someone else there eating it. We have strong evidence to support our assertion. It's clear that these witness testimonies are unreliable. If the court decides to push through a little ruling at this stage, we will lodge a formal complaint with the Ministry of Justice and pursue a fair retrial relentlessly. Kazuma, are you insane? You would take on the government. Don't worry, counsel. I have no issue. Kazuma is such a best boy. Kazuma best boy. Simps like immediately. Don't worry, counsel. I have no issue with you. What do you mean? I have issue with them. The two witnesses on the stand. What are you talking about? We have demonstrated with evidence that the victim was not alone. So if it turns out the two of you deliberately lied when giving your testimonies, obviously you will be charged with perjury. And since this is a murder trial, you will also be deemed complicit in the killing. Complicit in murder? No. That was the most dramatic no I've ever done. Hold it. Negative. There was no mention of this tactical meeting. Oh, I was just following orders. Weak scream. No. That's right, as the man says. Just say you never saw the gentlewoman. That's what they told us. Oh. What? What did you just say, Kurakuta-san? Oh, no. You weren't just following orders. You're casually lying. It's not Ace Attorney. Witnesses are just like, yeah. So, anyway, I lied. Just got past me. Bro, Kazuma, best guy, best boy. Now, hold on, lad. I was, say you never saw the gentlewoman. When you say the gentlewoman, do you mean you saw the victim with a lady from overseas? What?
Objection!
What is the meaning of this? These witnesses gave false statements? Is this true, you pair? Just one... just one simple slip of the tongue. God damn it, guys. Order! Order! Council, explain what's going on here. It's painfully clear now. You tried to prevent these witnesses from telling the truth. Absolutely not. The prosecution knows nothing of this. Then who's behind this? Who tried to make you keep your mouth shut? The waiter. Well, that's classified. So you prepared to be tried as a conspirator to this murder, are you? You wouldn't... This can't be happening. Ryunosuke, judging from the way they're reacting to this, I'd say they were sworn to silence by someone with considerable influence. However, I don't believe she had any idea about it. What are you saying? I mean, to wield that kind of influence, there are only a handful of possibilities. Could have only been the government, the military, or the police, I suppose. Well, any ideas about who might be behind this? If we can affirm who tried to silence these witnesses, then we can continue our pursuit. So we need to name whoever it was that tried to make the witnesses keep their mouths shut. Bro? I don't know who that's him. Of course, we'll need evidence before we make any firm accusations. Evidence that proves whoever it really was did wield his or her power here. But how? How can we possibly... Remember how we made progress before? We examined this piece of evidence in more detail and found a new clue as a result. The waiter's thing! Oh yes, that's right. Well, that's not the only piece of evidence we have, is it? We need to re-examine everything and make sure there's nothing we've missed. There's no time to lose. I want answers. If it's proven that these witnesses have been manipulated, I assure you the penalty will be severe. Please, wait, Your Excellency, I had no idea about any of this. I swear to every Shinto god, I knew nothing. And what does the defense have to say about all this, well, Your Excellency, no time to think. I'm just gonna have to close my eyes and shout out the first names that comes into my head. I am not ready to do that. I'm not ready to do that. I'm not ready to do that. Chief Inspector. Okay, he's a policeman. Oh shit, I should probably add that into evidence now. Well, that's unexpected. What is? Look, do you see it says the witness's name here? Satoru Hosonaga. Well, yes, business cards do typically tend to show the person's name. That's sort of the point. It's not the name that's unexpected, it's his job title. His job? Oh, Chief Inspector. Primary Criminal Investigation Division. Imperial Police Bureau Inspector. What on earth? I have no idea, but let's face it, the police have a lot of power and influence. If they're wielding it somehow here... Yeah, we know it now. Okay, cool. I'm glad I did that before it, like, forced me into a position where I couldn't. Besides the prosecution, the only person with necessary influence to manipulate the witnesses is... you. Present. Yes. Well, surely that would be... Satoru Hosonaga-san. Hosonaga-san, the waiter who took the stand earlier. Poppycock! What possible reason would the waiter have to make these witnesses give false testimony, not to mention the fact that even the head waiter could not have possibly that level of influence? For once, I would agree with you. If that is, the man truly were a waiter. What? If he truly were... Come on, Ryunosuke, time to hit the court with this truth. The truth about Satoru Hosanaga's son's real identity as proved by this evidence. Present. Yes. The plan of the restaurant sketched by the man in question. I agree, it shows a lot of detail, but I'm not sure we can conclude anything. Sorry, Your Excellency, that's the back of the card. It's the back of the card that's of interest. I beg your pardon? Or perhaps I should have said the front? Yes, it's the front of the back of the card. That's what the telling detail is. Would somebody please explain what this overexcited student is trying to say? Hasanaga-san sketched the plan of this restaurant on the reverse side of his business card. The front of that business card reveals the man in question's profession, his true profession. The waiter's profession, but that's surely good gracious. That's right, Your Excellency. The card reads Chief Inspector, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. What? The waiter is a police detective. I haven't heard any mention of this before. Explains why he was so nervous to give over his card, though. And why haven't I heard any mention of this before? The Imperial Police Bureau has immense power, absolute power, as far as regular civilians are concerned. So, witnesses there in the stand. Was it, in fact, the waiter who gave you the orders? Was it he that told you not to mention that you'd seen this foreign gentlewoman at the scene? Well. Hold it. Oh, who's holding? Is it the waiter? Hello, waiter. Inspector Hasanaga. What is this dramatic music? I was worried something like this may happen. The moment you asked me to submit my sketch as evidence, I realized it was a possibility. The court will take this plan and add it to the court record. Oh, well, is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course, here you are. Yes, I remember now. He did act strangely when the judge asked him to hand over his business card. I strive to carry out all investigations flawlessly. 'Tis my guiding principle, and yet you're admitting evidence. Okay. But I let myself be distracted when I made that sketch. It was an unusually careless mistake. So you mean to say you really are a detective? But why would a detective be working as a restaurant waiter? Ah, of course your salary must be terrible. I was working undercover. Undercover? Yes, there have been a series of incidents at the restaurant lately. In order to investigate, I decided to get a job there as a waiter working undercover. Incidents at the restaurants. What kind of incidents? That would be classified police information, which I am not at liberty to divulge. However, I can state categorically that they are unrelated to the case of homicide. Very well then, Inspector Hasanaga, but you will elaborate on one point for the court. Of course, Your Excellency. We have just heard a new information from the two witnesses beside you, that at the time of the shooting there was in fact another person present at the victim's table. If that is indeed true, clearly you would have also been aware of this person's presence, having served the table in question. However, your testimony did not allude to this other diner, therefore I am led to assume that in your professional capacity as a police officer, you required these witnesses to be in agreement. Would that be correct? Correct, Your Excellency. Unbelievable. As I suspected. Ooh. As soon as I heard the gunshot, I ran out of the kitchen to see what had happened. The victim sat slumped at his chair, and beside him, gun in hand, stood the accused student. Sitting opposite the victim at the same table was a young lady who I had guessed to be an Englishwoman. So the truth comes out. I immediately sealed off the restaurant and reported the incidents to the Bureau. It was then that I received some special orders. Special orders? You mean to say, remove the Englishwoman from the scene at once. It was made clear that the Englishwoman's presence at the restaurant was to be concealed. Those were my orders. But what if this Englishwoman was the killer? I think it would be in everyone's best interest not to pursue the idea. The Empire views the friendly terms of its relationship with Britain more highly than anything at the moment. An Englishman has been murdered on our soil. To name an Englishwoman as the primary suspect? Well, without irrefutable evidence, that would be completely out of the question. So that's the reason for the disappearance of the Phantom Woman in this case. But it's not right. One possibility does spring to mind. What do you mean, Governor? UMay University is currently hosting a number of exchange students from Great Britain, and I'm fairly certain that one of them studying the medical facility research laboratory is a young Englishwoman. What? You're a shrewd man. I can see why you're the chosen candidate for the overseas study tour. You mean, when I removed the woman from the scene of the crime, I thought it prudent to check her identity first. And the court demands that you name the lady in question at once, investigator. Inspector. The Englishwoman sitting at the university professor's tables was certainly Miss Jezile Brett. She is indeed a foreign student studying the research laboratory of UMay University's medical facility. What is happening here? He's so tall, bro! I admit that the orders from the police bureau erased all evidence of this lady's presence at the scene and ordered these witnesses make no mention of her in their testimonies. It must now be up to your excellency to decide how to deal with the situation. Very well, my thoughts on the matter are as followed. Thus far, the case presented to the court has been underpinned by a particularly critical premise, namely that the victim was dining alone. However, as we have now discovered that this premise is false, it would be a desecration of our justice system to ignore the truth and give a ruling at this point. But, Your Excellency, that would mean we're missing the noon deadline of a ruling in order to send the telegraphic report to Great Britain. Our own government will surely be very displeased by such action. Calm yourself, Counsel. I will not allow the government of our country or any other to influence the proceedings of my courtroom. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes, sir. You will locate this Jezile Brett and escort her to the courtroom with the utmost urgency. At once, Your Excellency. But that means you'll be going against the special orders you were given from the police bureau. As I said before, it is my guiding principle to carry out all investigations flawlessly, so it won't be a problem. God damn it. Nothing will get in my way. This man is like on the verge of death, and I feel like he's gonna die in the courtroom as this ends. Court will be adjourned briefly. The prosecution must call the English student Jezile Brett to the witness stand. Do I make myself clear? Yes, Your Excellency. Good, then we will have a 30-minute recess before reconcealing. Dude, gonna drop it and eat for real. He's done. To be continued. Right. I hope I can save it now. Yes! Oh my god, thank god. Okay, I'm thinking I'm probably gonna leave it here because it has been 2 hours. Almost. I'll probably like pick up tomorrow or something. See what we do, but I've had a lot of fun. I've just 2 hours of streaming is a lot for me, especially after like a long time of not doing it, so yeah. I'm hoping I can just exit the game. Oh, maybe not. Okay, you know what? Yeah, we're just gonna close the window, and that's gonna yeah. Yeah, tomorrow we'll have some appearances from the two members of the chat. It'll probably be quite late though, but it's fine. Alright, thank you for coming to the stream. Bye bye!